Hey guys, Omar here. Today we have the Ditto X4 Looper by TC Electronic. So I already did a demo of this, so if you want to see how this works in the context of a full, 3-minute, 30-second song, I'll put a video link button thing right there, and you guys can check that out. For this video, we're going to be focusing on two things. There's 7 onboard effects, and we're going to be getting the sound clips for that and seeing how everything sounds. We're going to talk about all the knobs and buttons and all that stuff. So with those two things in the other video, you should be able to know everything you'd want to know about this pedal. Let's dive right in. So, the Ditto X4 Looper is the older brother of the original Ditto and the Ditto X2. So the original Ditto was just one knob and one button, so you kind of have two of them right beside each other here. And these loops work together in two kind of different ways. In the video that I did, like I said earlier, I'm using serial mode. So there's a little switch in between the two of them right there. It says serial or sync, and the up mode is serial. So that would be having one loop after the other. As you can see, I kind of use it so it's like the A part and the B part. Sync mode would be having the two loops going over each other. So you can kind of group the layers into two different loopers, and that's really cool if you're doing like a rhythmic thing on loop 1, melodic thing on loop 2. You want to cut certain layers out, add certain layers back in, that kind of stuff. It's really handy. The Ditto X2 introduced being able to upload and download loops to and from the pedal. So that's what these switches are for, and there's a little USB on the back there for that. So if you flick it up, you can store whatever loop you've already recorded onto this. You'll store it until you put it on your favorite DAW. If you hold it up, you can delete it, and then also if you're finding that the stored loop is maybe too loud, you can set it and then hold down to kind of set that level, and then you can do whatever you want with the remaining loops on top. So the additional 2 foot switches on the Ditto X4 are the stop switch, which is really handy. That way you don't have to be pressing all these buttons if you want to stop at a certain time. The effects, which like I said we'll get into later. And then there's a decay knob. So the decay knob is kind of like having a delay pedal that has really long delay times. So after a certain amount of time, that initial strike is going to start to just decay out, and you're only going to be hearing the echoes. So the way that translates to a loop is, let's say you've got your first loop, your second loop, first loop, second loop, third loop, fourth loop, and you just keep on building and building. If you have the knob fully clockwise like this, you can just keep on building forever, nothing's going to change. The more you turn it counterclockwise, the faster it's going to start deleting those old loops as you're adding new loops on top. Moving on to the back, as you can see there's stereo in and stereo out. They're processed separately, so that means that you can have 2 separate instruments going in and going out to separate outputs. That's what I did in the demo video. Or you can just run your rig in stereo. There's the input for the power, and this guy actually comes with its own wall wart, which is really nice. The 4 mode switches allows you to really customize the looper to work in the way that works best for you. So it'll change everything from the order of record, playback, overlays. You can switch that around. You can have it where it'll cut right into the recording, or it'll wait until the end of the cycle if you want to stop it, or if you want to add another layer. And it also will allow you to do true bypass or buffered bypass. There's the USB jack for the 2 store, delete, uploading, downloading the loops, and then there's MIDI in and through. I personally don't use MIDI a lot or at all when I'm playing, but as you can see in the other video, sometimes the timing is not exactly on, so having a MIDI in and through is really handy, even if you just have a click going. That way the loops will always sync up. That's very handy. Besides that, the thing's built like a tank. As you can see, I've already put Velcro on the back. It's already found its way permanently on my board, so let's put it back on the board and we'll go through all the different effects. Alright guys, so I've got the looper on my board. I've recorded 2 loops. They're in sync mode and I'll show you them in a second. Let's go through all 7 of the different effects on their own, and then I'm going to show you kind of cool ways of using it. I got 3 different examples I'm going to show you. So let's start with the loops. I got this riff being loop 1. And loop 2 are those chords there. Because it's in sync mode, they're kind of working off of each other now. So the first effect is reverse. It sounds like this. The next one is half. The next one is once. So what's actually happening here is it plays each loop to the end of their full cycle. So loop 1 is actually a shorter loop. I think it's half the length of loop 2. That's just the way I recorded it. So that's why loop 1 ended before loop 2. Just a good thing to keep in mind. The next one is tape stop. So I've seen a lot of videos and people really like this one. I don't use it too much myself, but it does sound pretty cool. The next one is a fade out. I use this one a lot, especially if I'm playing something over top of it. The one thing I don't like is it seems to be fading out at a good level, and then at the very end it just kind of just drops right off. Oh, let's listen to that again. See what I mean? Right at the end there is just nothing happened. The next one is double. The next one is hold. And the cool feature about the hold is it actually is tap tempo. So let's say we wanted something faster. Or something even longer. There we go, that one worked. As for the 3 tricks, the first one, if we got the loops going, and we go in for the hold, I'm actually going to go down for this. So what I did there is I had the hold, and while I'm holding the effects button down, I moved to half speed, then I went to double speed, and then tape stop. So that's one of the cool things that you can really do. And you know, let's say you're using reverse, you can also go to something else while it's reversed and add layers of effects, which is really cool. For this next example, I'm going to be using one of my songs, and at the end I like to have a leady kind of line, but I want to have it in reverse. So I've got the chords here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the loop. You can hear the chords. Then I'm going to go into overdub mode, reverse the whole thing, overdub over that, and then re-reverse it. So what I just record is going to be reversed. You'll see what I mean. So these are the chords here. I'm overdubbing, and I'm going to flip it. actually got, it's whatever, it's not the greatest melody line, but if we flip it back over, it's a little random, but you get like a cool little melody line. I really like the sound of that reverse guitar. It's very psychedelic. So the last cool little thing I'm going to show you is I find a lot of people have hard times using loopers in the context of a band, but I think this works really well just as kind of like a bed track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a few layers of just, you know, it'll seem like nothing notes, but yeah, let's start by doing that. So this isn't all that exciting. In fact, it's kind of a little bit bad. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn down the volume of this. Then we're just going to flip it. So this is almost like a droning track that I would use underneath the riff. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the main guitar riff of the song that I'm talking about. So as you can see, that like adds an extra dynamic to the song. It gives it swells in places that my playing normally wouldn't, and I think that's a really cool thing, and I do that for actually a few songs. I think it just sounds really cool. Another thing you can do is we have it reversed, and like I just said for the first example, you can add other effects on top of this. So, you know, if I don't like this sound too much, I might half it. I think that sounds a little too muddy for my taste, so what I might do is I might double that. So there you go. I think that sounds awesome. I use that for a lot of my solo stuff, but it's a cool little just texture to add. And, you know, if you have a bass player and a drummer and that going in the background, that sounds really cool. Overall, I'm really happy with this pedal. I've found ways to incorporate it in my band music, which is not always the easiest. And it's also kind of helped me reimagine my solo project, which is normally just acoustic or electric, and you know, I'm singing over top of it. Whereas with this, I can add bass or banjo, and I can layer these huge soundscapes that I really wasn't able to do before that. I'm also just a huge fan of TC Electronics, so you know, I love that they made this. They actually just came out with an octave pedal. Probably gonna buy that and do a video on that. But yeah, if you're considering getting this, price point wise compared to other loopers, it's actually cheaper than most other loopers, which is really, really great. Like I said, built like a brick, I would definitely recommend it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks so much. Bye guys.